welcome back to my channel. This is Julia, for anybody new here. I kind of just like to do anything lifestyle, travel, and today I actually kind of want to get into the more like financial side of things. And this is kind of just so I can talk about my financial goals for the upcoming year. So yeah, let's go ahead and get into it. So for anybody new here, I actually just moved to a new city and I'm gonna be starting a new job in the next week actually. So that being said, I kind of just wrote down some financial goals that I have for myself just so that I can stay focused whenever I do start having money coming in, because I think it's so easy if you don't have any goals set for yourself to give in, like, oh, you know, it's just $5 coffee this one time, or you know, like these little amounts, they just stack up, and at the end of the month you're kind of like, where did all my money go? Like, what did I spend it on? And so I just kind of wrote this list for myself to help hold myself accountable. And yeah, I think it's really important to have a budget for yourself, and you know, this will be my first kind of like big girl job that I have out of college. So yeah, I'm really excited to start actually tackling some of my financial goals. And I know I haven't mentioned this on my channel before because I haven't really talked about any financial goals or anything about finances in general, but a big goal of mine is to actually, you know, retire early. One of my goals is to gain financial independence at, you know, a younger age than the regular 67 or 65. So yeah, financial independence is a very high priority for me. I don't want to be stuck in a 9-to-5 for the rest of my life. I don't know about any of y'all. And so yeah, I kind of just, I like creating goals for myself to help me, you know, have a realistic view of how to achieve these big goals. They seem so out of reach right now, but I promise you, it's the little things that add up. It's not, you know, you're not gonna wake up one day and this big light switch is just gonna, you know, turn on and it's like, oh, this is what I need to do. Oh, this is how I'm gonna, you know, gain financial independence. No, it's, you know, every month coming in and every month maybe building that emergency fund. And then you're gonna start, you know, investing or putting into your 401k or whatever. And just as a disclaimer, I am not a financial advisor in any way. This is kind of just, you know, to speak my goals into existence and kind of share with any of you if you're also maybe thinking of, you know, setting some goals for yourself. So yeah, let's just get into it. I want to be completely transparent about, you know, what I'm going to be bringing in and, you know, how much I'm going to be saving this year. And so starting in July, I will be making $30 an hour, and I'll be working 37.5 hours a week. So this comes out to like $58,500 annually for the year before taxes. I'm not entirely sure what my, you know, like my net take home will be, you know, like after taxes, after everything's all said and done is taken out. But I'm just gonna give myself like a good rough estimate of like, I'll say like 3,900 or like 38. I want to be like on the lower end just in case, you know, if it does end up being like a higher take home pay, then that's great, awesome. But I don't want to account for, you know, like a higher take home pay and then I'm like, oh shoot, you know, my budget was made for this amount, like how am I supposed to make up for that? So I'm gonna account for like 3,900 per month, and I will be getting paid on a bi-weekly basis. So my goals for this year is to, number one, build up my emergency fund. You can probably find this anywhere if you Google, but you know, a very safe bet is to have 3 to 6 months of your, you know, monthly expenditures saved up just in case anything happens. Let's say you lose a job, you want to switch jobs, whatever, just so you know that you're okay for your necessities for 3 to 6 months. And I kind of calculated that out to be around like $2,000 per month for me. And so my goal for my emergency fund is $15,000, which sounds like a lot. But you know, I think with some hard work and some discipline this year that I will be able to achieve that by next August. And so that's my first goal that I have, is every month I'm going to be putting $1,000 from my paycheck, and it's immediately going to go into my emergency fund. So this sounds like a lot, and I completely understand like this is not doable for some people's income, or if you have debt, which I currently don't have, it might not be doable for you, but just do what works for you, because everybody's goals, like how are they going to achieve their goals, it might be a little bit different. You might have to tweak something, but I promise you that it's doable with some discipline and with some planning. So yeah, every month I'm going to be setting aside $1,000 from my paycheck to go towards my emergency fund. And so I've calculated that by this time in August next year, that will be $15,000 in my account, which I forgot to disclose. I already have $3,000 in there currently. So I'm not gonna touch any of that, and I'm going to contribute that. So by this time next year, I'll have $15,000 in my emergency fund, and that will kind of check my emergency fund off of my goal, my list, check that off. So now for my second goal that I have for this year, for those who don't know, again, maybe this is your first video you're watching on my channel, I will be starting my master's degree this fall. I'm going to be getting my Master's of Science in Finance and Economics. This is going to be like an online master's program. It's not super pricey at all. I think for this first semester, it's going to be like $2,500 or something like that, which again, it's not, doable for some incomes. I completely understand. So for my college, I'm going to be setting aside $750 per month, aside for my schooling expenses, just because, I figured I don't have any debt right now. I would prefer to keep it that way, and if I am able to cash flow my master's degree, then I am 100% going to do that. Again, I know this might not work for everybody, but this is what's gonna work for me, hopefully. So I calculated by this time in August next year, setting aside $750 per month, I'm going to have $9,000 saved up, or $9,000 that's going to go towards my schooling. And I believe when all is said and done with this program, it's only going to be like $14,000 or $15,000. So I actually made like a 5-year plan for myself and for my savings goals. If you're interested in that, I can definitely make another video that kind of digs deeper into like my long-term financial goals and stuff like that. But yeah, so by this time, or more in August, because like I said, I don't start my job until next week, and then my first paycheck doesn't come until July 25th. Also, don't mind my dog drinking his water. Okay. So yeah, by this time in August next year, I'm hoping to have $15,000 in my emergency fund and $9,000 saved up for school. So this comes out to $1,750 per month, taking out of my paycheck and putting into my savings goals, which I think, this sounds like very extreme, or it sounds like a lot, but I think that this is very doable for my situation. I don't have any debt, and I'm really trying my best not to live beyond my means, and to actually, make every dollar and have that dollar being useful. It's going towards something. It's contributing to my future. And so yeah, these are just kind of like my goals that I have set for myself. And like I said, I'm really trying to prioritize saving, and I want financial independence. I don't want to rely on my paycheck every month. And what better way than to start now? I'm 20 years old, almost 21. So I'm kind of like in the prime time to start saving and take advantage of compound interest and stuff like that. So if you found this video helpful, leave a like, subscribe, leave a comment if you found this useful or you resonated with this sentiment. I would love to make more financial centered videos in the future. Of course, like my whole channel probably won't be, you know, centered around finances, but it is something that I'm very passionate about, and I would love to keep you guys updated. If you're also trying to make some financial goals or hit some financial goals, I would love to, like, you know, interact with some of you guys if you want to comment down below. This is kind of like to hold myself accountable, and yeah, I look forward to seeing what future me has to say about, you know, my finances and how I'm hitting these goals. And if this sounds interesting to you, then I hope that you follow along, and I hope to see you in the next video.